Guys, this is Spanish Joint by Singularis, and this is truly hitting the spot for me right now. What a vibe, man. Like, this is a vibe for sure. Ah, man, I love this. Bro, I love this kind of music. It's very vibey, very like energetic, at the same time as being like super smooth and cool. I think that's something that I loved growing up, like Kate Trinada. Loved myself some Sango and like very cool Brazilian beats, and like J Dilla as well, like some of the great classics. Like, yo man, I miss that time where like you really emphasized a lot of the instruments. I think that was one of the best times, like early 2000, late 90s, early 90s, like when you were really vibing with the bass and the tempo was just like perfect for like smooth grooving, you know what I'm saying, like funky ass music, you know. But yeah, guys, this is a beautiful song by D'Angelo. If you never known, it is called Spanish Joint, funny enough. But yeah, this is vibes, man. I really mess with this kind of music right now because it's super different. It's live, it's energetic, and like, yo, it's crazy good vibes. But right, let's get to the podcast. So today we're gonna be talking about, oh, I got some tea here, you know what I'm saying? Today, another topic that I really wanted to touch on recently was something that I held very close to me throughout my like teenage years, 100%, like throughout my teenage years, something I think that everyone's gone through and probably everyone's experiences, like friendship. Right, so I think one of the reasons that I want to touch on this topic today is recently it was my brethren's birthday, and this guy has been my best friend for like pretty much I think to say like 13 years. So from when we were like basically still children till now, we've been friends, you know, and it kind of sparked like this thing in my head. Is like, yo, like these people who you call your friends are like, they're like the world to you, innit? In a completely different embodiment from what family is. Like, they're family, but they're not your family, but they're your family, innit? And having a friendship for over 13 years, you know, it's not just me and him, it's, you know, it's a group of us, it's three of us. And you know what I think the most amazing thing is throughout all the years that we've known each other is that we've all had fights, we've all had our disagreements, and we've all had our problems against each other. But I think one thing that has helped me throughout my journey, at least, is having friends that are gonna call me out on my shit. Throughout these times when I'm growing up, I'm realizing that, you know what, I'm the only person who is of my ethnicity in my area. I was one of the only Asian people you would have seen back in Croydon during like 2008 to 2013. Bro, man was just a little Asian boy walking around Croydon, bro. And I think one thing that really helped me settle in and not feel so much of an outcast was the friendships that I did have, like with the people who were around me when I was at school at the time. So for me, at least, there was always that kind of that hesitant attitude towards that experience that I was feeling, because I felt so isolated because I was the only Asian, yeah. But then when my friends, like, they came and they accepted me for who I was and what kind of things that I liked, my hobbies and my interests, like that wasn't considered too weird, you know what I mean? Like, it was weird. Like, I was a weird kid. One thing, I was a very weird kid. I was an odd child, bro. Let's just say, you know what I mean, I was an odd child. Growing up, being accepted by these people who now I've been friends with for over a decade, it's crazy. It was the first time that I felt calm and collected and like, yo, I can be myself around people who are external to my family, you know? On this journey of growing up throughout our lives, it was like we've experienced so much stuff together. that it's only just built a stronger and stronger foundation for what our friendship has become. I think it's super important to have people who are gonna call you out in a moment's notice if you fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would much rather have people who are gonna completely criticize the fuck out of me over people who are gonna be yes man. Because who wants a yes man? Really, like, who wants someone like sniffing up their butt, fam, and just telling them what they want to hear? Like, that's stupid, bro. There's nothing wrong with pushing your friends in the right direction. But when you're just, all you are is just fucking, you're just following this guy. Like, that's not friendship. Friendship is when you see each other at equal level and you're able to pick apart each other's flaws. Fam, one thing that I loved about growing up where I grew up. Okay, people, let's give a little bit of a backstory on where I grew up and like how I met my friends initially, yeah? So let me tell you about my first day when I got on the bus, and this is leading to the story of my eventual meet up to the people who I call my best friends now. And I mean, the first day that I got into year 7, I was 11 years old and I was new, and I was thinking, yo, I'm going to a new exploration adventure for my life, and this is going to be something different. And I remember going to school and just being so captivated by my surroundings. This was all new. Like, there were people way older than me. There was everyone there. You know what I'm saying? Everyone was there, and it was such a vibe. And I remember just being young and kind of naive in the sense that, you know, this is the place I'm gonna be for pretty much half a decade of my life. And I think it was scary for me because when I was younger, I had no idea how to act. I was one of the only Asians in my school, probably one of the only Asians that you would ever see around my area. And I think it was crazy growing up as from my ethnicity at least, and growing up in a very cultured, multicultural area. And it was like, yo, like this is gonna be a completely different ball game to what I was used to when I was in primary school, so when I was younger. So obviously I get in and I'm like, I don't know what people are gonna be cool. And I met my first friend, and he's super into anime. I'm not gonna mention his name right now, but you know, maybe if he's comfortable with it, we'll do it. But I remember going into class one day, in English class, and this kid was drawing, bro. I was like, why is this kid drawing? Obviously, I'm like, oh, I'm curious what's going on there. This kid's drawing his stuff, and I'm pretty interested. And that was my mentality when I was there. And obviously, he's just drawing away, not worrying about a thing. And then I'm like, yo, bro, can I borrow one of your pens or your pencils, please? And he pulls out one of his pens, and he had a whole like art set that he was drawing from. And I was like, yo, that's crazy, you've got all those colors, you know. And I was like, I wasn't really that good at drawing yet, but this kid was sick at drawing, fam. And I was like, yo, this is hard. And I think it was one of the first times where I saw someone actually do something which is external to making anyone else happy, but making themselves happy, like properly, like doing something that is making them happy. And I think that's one reason why I was drawn to my best friend at first. One of my best friends at first is because he was so dedicated to getting something that he didn't have to do done. You know what I'm saying? And that was really cool to me. So I really loved that kind of hobbyist attitude, and like, he's gonna do it because he likes it. And I was like, yo, that's calm. So skipping forward, you know, after about a year of knowing my first best friend, you know, it was cool and chill and stuff, and like we were all cool, and I would be bouncing in and out of different friendship groups every now and then, because you know, you're still working yourself out. And then I met my other friend, so my second best friend, and now we're all like a collective. But before, it was like, that's just in terms of how things went. So I met my other friend, and at first, bro, me and this guy didn't like each other, fam. We didn't like each other. I said to this guy, yeah. And like, he didn't like me. I can't even remember what the issue was, but we just didn't like each other. And one day it led up to me fucking hitting him in the back with a stick. And I'm fucking tiny. I'm significantly smaller than this guy. And I fucking just hit him because I didn't like what he did. And he was like, are you dumb? And he gets me in a headlock, yeah. And I'm like, what? and bro, we're scuffling, yeah. And it was just like, okay, whatever, innit? And then somewhere along the line, I think maybe that later on that week, we had just like squashed it somehow. And then we just found out we have bare similar interests, and it was just like, fuck it. You know, it is what it is. We thought, okay, wow, let's see Wagwan. And then we just became friends after that, and we started hanging out and chilling and going all over the place, and like hanging out in Croydon, and you know what I mean, like going out to eat and stuff. And we all started linking up, and then, you know, going to go play Smash Bros on Nintendo GameCube, because that was still bloody popular during then times. But yeah, I mean, like growing up when from young, and then, you know, meeting friends and like finally finding people who I'm very super comfortable with was great, man. Like honestly, and you know, it's a blessing. And I'm just happy today that we're all still friends, because it's like, wow, that really has, our friendship has really truly kind of in a way stood the test of time. You know, a lot of people after school, they don't even talk to each other anymore, you know what I mean? So I'm very happy and glad that was, you know, the friendship group that I got, you know, put myself in, you know, I put myself in, and I'm very, you know, appreciative of my friends, because I know they'll have my back at any point. So at one point I remember, like, you know, growing up and just being an angry kid, an angry kid, and you know, I definitely took out a lot of rage on my friends, and I think that's one thing that I really don't like about what I did when I was a kid, is I was just reactive and very immature. And I think one thing that I learned from being with friends is sometimes you might not be in the mood, but these people aren't there to attack you, they're here to like calm you down and help you out. And I think that helped temper my actual anger and relax myself a bit as I grew up, because more and more as I got older and older and older, and the years went by, that initial anger that I did have when I was a kid, and I was angry that I didn't look the same to other kids, and I couldn't get girls, and I couldn't do this and that, and these people were here to help me and like relax, and we can just go play games and not think about everything that we have to think about. And I think that was super important growing up, as you know, from my point of view, to do, because you're growing, you're adapting as a child, but going into a teenager, and the teenager is also still trying to figure themselves out. And I think that was super important to figure out, is that friends aren't there to harm you, they're supposed to be there to help you. And once I figured that out, my anger started going down. So it was really healthy from my point of view, that I had friends who were there to support. And I think that's something that we all need in our lives, is find people who are gonna be there to support us. Going on to like a sub category of that is also being able to differentiate which people are good for you and which people are bad for you. And like sometimes it's not as easy and clean cut as I say it is, like, or as people say it is, because sometimes there's people who seem to be your friends and seem to be there for you when you want them to be there the most, but a lot of the time, if you look a bit closer, sometimes those people aren't there for the same reasons that you believe them to be for. And I think one reason that it's good to be able to differentiate and figure out whether this new person or this person from your past is good or not, is being able to kind of put them in a position where you talk to them and you see how they react. Not purposefully, like don't do it in a malicious way, but more so, you know, sometimes if you ask for a hand or a helping hand, like, oh, could you help me move? And they're just like, yeah, no. But then they call you the other day, oh, do you want to go out to eat? And then, you know, they make you pay and shit. Like you can usually tell, like there's some people out here who are just really not people who are good friends. And like, I mean, one thing to do, another way to differentiate and determine whether they are, is like also judge what kind of people they're around. You know what I mean? What is it they're doing by themselves? Not just even with you. What are they doing by themselves? What are their goals and motives? If they've got like very insidious ideas about certain things, like you kind of have to be like, this person's probably not that, you know, not that good around me, because I think some people, when they get so encapsulated in a certain idea, their minds change, innit? So one thing that's really good is to be able to see if those people are like around you and like suss them out and like call them out and be like, okay, cool, you know, you're over there. But yeah, guys, so like growing up with friends who actually were caring and like helped me a lot, it was crazy. I think the first time where I really knew who my friends were when I went into hospital for my cancer. So I'm gonna get into a more in-deep video about that at a later date. But basically, when I was in hospital, I had people visit me, you know, I had a lot of people who visited me. And I think when I really saw who my friends were is when I got into hospital, and I was in a situation where I could never leave. If you're in a situation where you can never leave, you really see who your friends are gonna be, because you can't leave. So everyone who is your friend is gonna come and have to visit you. So when I had cancer, I remember my best friend, bro, he would be there 3 days a week. 3 days. Like, this man would be at the hospital waiting and helping me out, and he would get me drinks and try to get me some food, like, because all the food in the hospital was dead, but he would try to get me all this food and drink, and you know, he would sleep there, and then he would go to work, and then he'd come back later in the night, he'd go to work, and then he would stay by me when I was pretty much on my deathbed. You know, and sometimes I wouldn't even be able to be awake to talk to him and like conversate with him and chill out with him, or go play pool in the like the game room. And like I would just be sat there and sitting there and like just basically not even say a word, and he would still be there and sit there and chill with me. My other friend at the time, he was at college, so he would visit me every now and then, and it was calm. But it was like when I started seeing my other friends, like my other friend that I know from college, he would come, he would stay there for a couple of days, and my other friend from college, she would come and stay, and she would go like I had friends who would travel all the way from, like I said this in the last video, who would travel all the way from their universities to come see me. And it really kind of put in and cemented those people into my mind forever, because it was like, yo, these people will 100% come and visit me if I can never visit them. You know what I mean? And that was beautiful to me, and that really touched my heart when I was in that hospital. I was like, yo, these people are crazy fucking friends. Like, these people are down, you know? And I think that really showed me how caring and beautiful people can be as human beings, you know? I think people all have that in their heart, but there's only some people who are willing to show it, because there's a lot of people who don't want to show that kind of side, you know what I mean? Because, you know, they might get judged or something. Like a hoodman's not going to be all lovey-dovey in front of his brethren, because he's got a certain idea to hold, like expectation of his friend, you know? But I do see other people grow from situations like that as well. So I really do think it was one of those things when I saw my friends come and visit me and help me out when I needed help. It was beautiful, man. It was truly bloody beautiful. And going on to like the ending part of my topic is growing up in this day and age. What I've seen is everyone is obsessed with pretending and like, oh, I look like this, I'm bad. And I think what everyone does nowadays is we all get kind of caught up in that lifestyle of, oh, let's look good and look nice, but deep down, like, yo, it's your friends who pull you through some of them dark points in life, innit? And I think what we all need to know is like, we gotta find people who are good, you know? If we find people who are actually gonna be there, be supportive, people who allow you to be positive in life without destroying who you are as a person. Like, you know, there's some things in life that are truly more important than in anything, and I think friendship is 100% one of those things. We're not all here forever, so why not try and make it as pleasant of a place as possible, you know, with our friends and by ourselves, and like, how can we create positivity in this day and age, especially when everything seems so negative, you know what I mean? So yeah, guys, thank you for listening again to the Blessings to Lessons podcast. I'm trying to, you know what, I'm trying to do different things. I wanted to change the mic position and like see if that's clear as well. But yeah, guys, I think I'm only just gonna keep uploading and producing more video and content. And if there's anything that I need to improve, please let me know. Or if there's anything that you did like or you don't like, let me know. I would love to hear it and hear what you guys' criticisms can be. And I would love to construct that in a way where I can actually really put that to good use and creating some new videos. So thank you so much, guys. Oh, also, guys, I bought Crocs. Currently testing them out. I think this is a sick design right now. I think this camo is sand camo. These are sick. But I heard good things. I really want to try these out and see, so I'm waiting to break them in. So far, they've been pretty decent. They've been stable, and I like them. So yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm gonna rate these currently. I'm gonna rate them like 7 out of 10, maybe an 8. 7, I'm probably gonna go closer towards, but we'll see. Apparently, these mold to your feet, so this isn't a paid. What do you call it? Something advertisement. This is just I just want to figure out how good these Crocs are, because you know, is what it is. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Blessings to Lessons podcast. So today we are going to find out what else we can do. I really want to do like cool voiceovers and stuff, so if people want to like try test me to do voiceovers, I'm down to do it. So yeah, I can be a Texan man. I can do whatever I want. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Peace.